Inside Story Uganda. Real source of political updates.
The leaders of the party argue that there is no crisis.
No, you asked me something earlier. I hadn't
The bigger
completed,
picture.
Yes.
Yes.
For me, the point I was making...
And do you agree there is a crisis?
I gave you what is used to happen in Tanzania before Chadema is banned. And I've told you my desire. And for me, it doesn't matter whether it is NRM primary, whether it is vetting. I want a process that will give me quality MPs. That process I will support. In some areas, yes, but when I compare Sseggona with the person they have brought, Zensonga, former guild president, with the person they have brought, that's where my disappointment is, and I don't want to blame. I blame every party.
I think you're being condescending, judging people, individuals, before they are tested.
Because I am in parliament. I sit with two. I sit with...
That a professor or somebody with the degree of a university would necessarily be a better member of parliament, a better representative of the people, who can lobby for people, who can listen to what they're saying.
There is no lobbying. It's not one of the functions of
no, but you represent.
That's what he's going to do.
Ofono, I told you.
No, when you represent people.
There is no lobbying. There must be a fair process to distribute a national budget. Not lobbying. And
because you cannot talk of budgeting and then you start talking of lobbying.
There is no lobbying.
They are at loggerhead.
Is that what you are going to do when you
budgeting and lobbying are at loggerhead?
Why not? Advocacy. Parliament is for advocacy.
Let me answer.
Now that is different from
when
lobbying.
You do advocacy. Isn't that
I think this is some news time. His time is running out. I'll give you a couple of minutes.
The incoming MP for work will need to tie that.
Ofono. I was here with Professor Tango Doi, and I told him I am disappointed by his conduct because of his level of knowledge. And I told him I will not be disappointed by Nabanja. So if you are I mean substantial, like Professor Chiduma Kubia, and you can't interpret law, or you choose to misinterpret it, I am disappointed. Because my expectation, I said you will be a good MP. Why? I have looked at the old people representing older persons, and I know for you, if you choose to be a lousy MP, it will be by choice. But you have all the ingredients to be a good MP.
Yes.
I sit with 529. The other day we are in a budget process. I told the parliament, these fellows have hidden money in the budget to pay Congo, to give Magola, to give... And the vice chairman of the budget committee said that money is not there. His colleagues started pulling him down because he was being an embarrassment. So you have people in parliament who pass a budget and they don't know what is in the budget. So for me, the point...
Yeah, but it's too early to judge the newcomers.
No, I mean...
And you're not being kind.
Do I need an hour to judge Sseggona against anyone? Do I need an hour? Do I need an hour to judge a former guild president?
What if Walukaga turns out to be a quality legislator?
I'm not talking about Walukaga. I have told you and I have made similar comments. When they brought Nabanja, I told Nabanja, you are my friend. And I will not even come to parliament to participate in passing you or not passing you, but I will give a fair judgment. And I told the people, for me, the yardsticks are there. If I'm going to run a government, anyone who doesn't qualify for a job in a private company, please don't knock at my door if you don't qualify for a job. So that's why people like the ones of Onopondos have been assembling. Many of them will not be in my government. So Flavia and No, we need to be different from NRM. And for me, I don't care about the process. In fact, for me, vetting should give me the best results. If Nabagawe is contesting against another person, I will tell that person, please, in the interest of the country, don't even bother ourselves. Just go and contest as a councillor.
You are an enemy to democracy.
No, I have told you, I mean, democracy of Ofono that brings lousy people. This one of theirs that they cheat. They bring people in parliament. There's one who comes from Chisoro. He's drunk all the time. He enters parliament drunk. And then in the committee room, he's asking you, what are we doing here? So you mean, for me, I have told you the processes, I don't care about them, but I want a process, and vetting should be the best process to give me quality people to come and run a country.
Dr. Roy Zensonga, are you mindful of the destruction you're going to cause to the party when you stand as an independent?
No, I don't think there's a destruction. You see, like I said, there is a cause on this side for my people, and then there is being politically correct. On any given day, I will choose the cause. What is politically correct is for me to stand down and obey the party decision. But on the other side, why do we even join these political parties in the first instance? Is to advance the agendas of our people. We are the biggest opposition party in the country right now. In other words, we are a government in waiting. Why do I really want to behave like the people we are trying to get out of government? Listen, there is a plea of my people that for the last 10 years, we have not been getting services. The last MP we elected in 2021, on the eve of the elections, he was declared with his mattress on a canter, leaving Kawempe South. The party is providing us with a similar candidate, once beaten, twice shy. So my people are saying that, look, what we need is your... No, he does not. That's a fact. His home is in Chikaya, in a different constituency. In the previous campaign, he ran for Kampala Central with Muhammad Nsireko. So, much as we believe in political parties, but it's not a guarantee that 100% right. They also make mistakes. They made a mistake with Kazibe Bashir.
Uganda does not say that an MP must be a resident or a born of that
contest
place.
Anywhere, even
Can
in
contest
Solo,
anywhere.
in Arua.
The constitution does not, the law does not, but people power should, because people should refer to those very people
And relate.
you're going to represent. Yes.
And you see,
There must be descriptions.
there are so many
that are
things.
given
There are so many
properly.
things.
But Mbide was in Masaka.
Yes.
Now he's in Buwekula.
Because I have
Why
And the
the people do the same?
Under the pretext of people.
Yes, and me,
Which
I don't
people
belong
power
to
is
people
in
power.
Buwekula that is demanding that you contest for
The
it?
people pressurized me, they evaded my
Now look at
privacy
that.
at my farm in Buwekula, and I accepted.
There are so many things the Constitution doesn't say, but we have to do. You see, it's self-defeating to defy logic. Logically, a person has an attachment to where he should stand. There are those sentimental attachments, representation, and also understanding of an area. So we are getting someone who's going to learn on the job. I think the situation in our constituency, Kawempe South, is so dire that we want someone to learn on the job. We want someone who has faced the challenges and also who knows what to do for those challenges. So much as I understand that I'm in between the party being correct politically, but also the cause for my people, the cry for my people. And I am sure I shouldn't be loyal to a political party, not any politician. I should be loyal to the cause. So I choose the cause this time around.
Can you pronounce yourself out of NUP henceforth?
See what
Because the Constitution says once you stand as an independent, you would have forsaken the party.
But in that case, doesn't even need to announce. You just need to stand until the other membership.
So it's automatic
will
you're
fall
out.
by the wayside.
Your lawyers will interpret
You see,
you politically.
Simon, you see, belonging to a political party shouldn't be tagged to a membership card. No, it should be tagged to a spirit. It's a spirit that is more important. There are people who join NUP and they have been holding cards, but their actions are contrary to what is being expected of them. And there are people who don't even have...
Are you a member of NUP?
And there are people, as of now, yeah, I'm a member of NUP.
Do you respect the constitution of the party?
You see, Simon, there's a difference between being politically correct and also believing in a cause. For me, my belief is in a cause that Kawempe South deserves better. And I can tell you that the people who did the vetting did a very big disservice to Kawempe South. And that's what I told you from the start. I was thinking that along the way, the process is going to help and bring the best. If it has not, and it has taken us back in Kawempe South to the original problems they are running away from, then the people are saying we are thirsty for leadership of the sons of the soil, and we are insisting that should come and run. And I'm not going to petition.
Okay,
I should
fine.
also be clear.
Honorable Flavia, is it time for the party now to crack the whip on what appears to be indiscipline by the seniors, moreover?
Simon, before I respond to that, I just want to respond to the few issues that have arisen out of our discussion. The very first one is this element of thinking that the party was actually looking for academic prowess and was looking for academic giants to, as a basis for giving the cards. No. We were looking at so many factors. That too But of course, we have a weak constitution that mandates that any person can contest for position of member of parliament as long as you have a senior 6 what? Certificate. So in that case already, we are the professors, the people with PhDs, masters are disadvantaged to appoint. So even as we cannot start putting ourselves to those measures, although we look for quality, we also look at other political
So no lowers the bar.
No, we don't lower the bar. But I want to disagree with people who keep comparing the candidates, some of the candidates we brought, especially when it comes to Honorable Sseggona. I have nothing against Honorable Seggona's qualifications, and I know how he's qualified. But when we use other parameters that were used to get the candidate that we got, it was besides the academic prowess.
For the benefit of our viewers, what are the parameters?
Because parameters, 40% is that vetting that we went through, questions. Then 60% is the groundwork. Now, the 60% on the groundwork, a team went to all our flag bearers' grounds, different teams. So you can't say that all the different teams that went came back with wrong results. You can't say that even for people, for example, the process that I was subjected to is the process all other flag bearers were subjected to. Why is it that we have other people shouting and other people are not shouting? That's one. The other thing I also want to look at.
You asked NRMs?
But you see, it's not a one-man team. We don't send only one person. And it's the same thing I want to dispute with Honorable Semuju when he said he can't subject himself to a councillor.
I can't.
You know, interviewing him. Our electoral management committee is also not a one-person team. It's a committee. It's a committee.
Yeah, but their competences under question.
So, no. You can't say the competences are under question when the when the executive board approved them and appointed them. By the time we approved them, we had looked at all their qualifications. Everyone had their own strengths, which they were bringing on table, and they were sitting as a team to conduct those interviews. But also, a team was sent, which Dr. Roy is very much aware of, because he has been part of these processes. They too, he knows that they send different teams, not one, not two, to be able to conduct this.
So
I don't want us to restrict ourselves to that, because we have also seen some of the people, not shooting myself in the foot, but we have also seen some of these academic giants getting into those positions of power and totally destabilizing a country. We have seen some of them totally disillusioning us. We have seen, and you see, that's the thing with democracy. That's the thing with democracy. If you subject yourself to democracy, you have to be willing to bring on board whoever comes, whoever the democratic process gives you. Unless when you have electoral reforms, Honorable Semuju, and their qualifications, that's why you say a Nabagabe, that's why you say a Nabagabe is a much better candidate than even the person that you would have wanted. Why? And I think it takes us. It takes us back to the question of electoral reforms in this country. What do we want as a country in our leaders? Can we revise those the qualifications of a member of parliament? Because if we did that, then we would automatically sieve out some of the people we are calling artists, we are calling jokers, we are calling nothing.
Can I interrupt you if you can? You see, the Honorable Zindana in CA do not support qualification because he thinks human beings should be able to make the right judgment. Now, I don't need to know your qualification. I know your competence. That's why NOPO will find comfort in sending you here. You know, there are colleagues in the parliament, they will not even send you to a local radio station. For you, the reason they send you, it's not because of your qualifications, because of your competence. I know it, I don't have to be in your party. So we cannot pretend that because of qualification in the constitution, in the political parties, that we are blind. We can't say person who is qualified and one who is not. I don't agree.
Okay, then, so we have to open the conversations on electoral reforms, but I also want to respond to the issue of NUP being subjected through the process that we use. Of course, there is never a process that can be totally 100% correct, because in any democracy, every process has loopholes. We just need to know how to strengthen the processes. But remember that NUP submitted a reviewed constitution that was approved by a delegates conference, which we submitted to the National Electoral, not National, the Independent Electoral Commission of Uganda, waiting for approval of gazettement. But that was never done because we have a case in court. And so they never approved that constitution, which had a better option for churning out candidates. A better, I will say better, but it depends, because they use it and it doesn't give them sometimes
I want to shift
the
to Honorable
best.
Mbede,
Which
how
has
about the case of indiscipline
something
now?
better, and that has been withdrawn so we can review it. So it goes back to what OO was saying, that learning from what we are going through now probably would stage the what? The changes. Yes, we had already done that in that new constitution, but it wasn't gazetted.
Well,
that's why
let's talk about indiscipline, because by the look of things, Roy is one of the indisciplined fellows in the party, and so is one of the architects of the constitution, Honorable Sseggona.
Of course, Article 5 of our constitution talks about termination of membership. Yes, I will agree that Roy says some people don't hold membership cards and on the preview of having a member, being a member of a party at heart. No. There's a reason why we have laws in any area. I may be a party loyalist, but I may not be a member because I don't have a membership card. So that means I can't be subjected to party laws. But if we are talking about a person losing their membership on grounds of running as an independent, then automatically all the people that are going to contest against party flag bearers, when they were subjected under the party structure and party systems and internal mechanisms, automatically lose their membership. Now, it depends, it will depend on the party on whether we have to crack the whip or not, because it's also their right to contest as independents, because the constitution gives you that liberty.
Before I get to Honorable Mbede, what if these renegade members win as independents? Couldn't people power, rather couldn't the national inter-platform be headed to a weaker point, and to a point where it is NUP versus people power?
No. I think the bigger picture for us as a country, and if they won, well, they can go and test, and if they won, it would be good for them. We'd have no problem with that. But I think for me, every Ugandan that is watching us right now knows what the bigger goal for this country is. NUP is against the repression of citizens. It's against the kidnappings, the killings, the militarization of politics, the corruption, etc., etc. So if you trust NUP to be a leading opposition party, that means you have to trust its systems and the people it gives you, which means you have to be able to trust that they are still going to mobilize massively for those candidates to win, which means that we are still looking at the bigger picture of changing the political culture of this country. So for me, I have I have all the confidence in the world that the candidates that we are giving cards as our flag bearers are going to emerge winners in the 2026 election, and that we are going to be the faces of the new Uganda that we are looking for right now.
To Miss Sseggona?
Well, every person has their strengths and weaknesses. What we are missing in Sseggona, we can always get in someone. But also, Sseggona is still a member of NUP in his pronunciations. It doesn't mean that because we didn't give him a card, we cease to
Yes,
no,
he has offended Article 5.
No, he hasn't yet contested. But if he contests, yes, definitely.
No, he's already pronounced that.
But it doesn't mean that Sseggona is a standalone. We have so many people that are like Sseggona.
Is Walukage a substitute to Sseggona?
It's not about substitution. It's about the different capacities every individual brings on board.
Oh, well, I'll bring in Roy. Roy, hold your breath. Honorable Mbede, do you find people power now clashing with the NUP?
In DP
actually,
he's in DP that supports President Museveni.
You know, Honorable OO is a Gen Z for the old. He doesn't really belong to the old class, but he's a Gen Z, so he's disturbing me. I need protection, Simon. Now, what we need to look at, by the way, are majorly two things for me that are worrying me. One, the nature of democracy that we are gunning for. And two, the quality of parliament that we will have, subject to the processes that have definitely culminated into that membership that we shall have. By consensus, I think we should agree that there was no democracy There was no people-based decision in terms of arriving at candidates. But there was an appointment.
But you had the
probably for the good reason of the party.
You had the declaration of the spokesperson of the party, Sebufu,
yes.
who was hitherto a member of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, even when I was young, there are things that they used to tell us, and they sounded good. For example, that when you would lose your teeth, then rats would give you money. Those are called mere teradidos. So the idea behind people power is a mere teradido. So it does not apply. But I have arrived at a deduction that the political party chooses its own, basing on certain warrants, basing on loyalty, basing on any other thing, and probably even based on preconceived popularities of other audiences. Because audiences that have got everything to do with the talent may not clearly be the audiences that are political in nature. In any case, if one wanted to look at popularity, there was more evidence of popularity that somebody has been voted for before by the same people who haven't been reported dead. So clearly, the evidence of popularity with Sseggona applies with equal force. Number two, I agree with the Honorable Mugisha Muntu, because I heard from Honorable Semuju and I have to believe him, when he actually told us that, no, it is not about taking power, because that was done in 1986. It is about what you are going to do with that power. So we know what they want to do with power when they take it. So for me...
What do they want?
Exactly what they are doing. That the people will have no business determining the course of things, but the leaders will have.
Yeah, but you had the constraints that were highlighted by Honorable Flavia, that their constitution has not been gazetted. So maybe that's understandable.
But you see...
Simon,
keep quiet.
Simon, but probably, if I may borrow from Honorable Semuja and Mbide, they are castigating that some of the people given the cards are not the material compared to the ones they have dropped. Probably NUP has come to the conclusion that they're not interested in power. And so, whatever chaff they bring.
I was in Burundi. I was in Burundi last time when they had just got elections, like 2 previous years. And a friend of mine told me that my brother ran for parliament 2 years ago. I said, yeah, okay. So curiously, I asked him, okay, so what is he doing? He said, nothing. He got elected. So we are going to have members of parliament who are actually doing nothing simply because they got elected. And, and that is going to be the Uganda that we are going to have. Let me tell you, Simon, we have got to be frank with the issues. We are either democratic, where democracy refers to the voice of the people, or we are going to be autocratic, where autocracy can equally be justified. Because even the old constitution talks of party primaries. I have read all the constitutions of political parties, by the way, all over the world, because there are 45,400 political parties in the world. As of yesterday, and I have read their constitution, so I know. So whether the new constitution has actually been passed or the contrary, there are democratic principles enshrined under that constitution. You don't have a constitution that allows you to appoint candidates, thereby giving a flagship of a possibility of some investigation.
And in this case, they never appointed or anointed. They went through a process.
That process was a teradido, but it was an appointment.
Well,
Yes, sir.
Is opposition rising to the bar or they are declining?
Well, I don't see...
You're asking...
opposition.
His answer is obvious.
I don't see...
They have sanitized their process.
I don't see opposition to the NRM. But I see individuals or classes of individuals who are seeking space to provide them with opportunity for visibility, in the case of Honorable Semuju, political visibility, but majority of them simply also to come to the table and partake on the available cake. I don't see anything serious that you can say is a political position. Why? What is it that either individually or collectively what passes for opposition is doing or is presenting to advance in qualitative terms more than what NRM is doing or is proposing to do. What is their approach to national issues? So I don't see a political position. I see clusters of individuals who seek political relevance, but above all, preserve that space which feeds their families.
But again,
yes,
there's something that you cannot skip. NUP keeps accusing NRM of suffocating them and disabling them from conducting party primaries.
Well, I have heard that from Sseggona here, Roy. He's crying the process which has thrown him under the bus, was not presided over by the NRM. But he has conveniently said, no, they went for that process because NRM would not allow them
to hold party primaries.
FDC did hold party primaries. FDC has been holding party primaries, including their presidential candidates, the president of the party, and other members of the party. I don't know a single time when NRM chose for FDC their leaders. Recently, when FDC disintegrated, one faction of that party formed a new outfit, PFF. Again, they looked for the best method for them to arrive at an executive. I am not aware that it is the NRM that has prevented PFF, for example, from fronting a presidential candidate or other candidates in parliamentary and other places. So I think it is
the argument is they cannot implement their constitution because it's not been gazetted, one, and whenever they try to get out.
You didn't actually allow Honorable Nabagabe here to say, but during the break I actually asked her, who are those who went to court? And she actually told me, she's here, she said it was some of their members are the ones who went to court to challenge the process of gazettement. It wasn't the government of NRM, it wasn't the NRM the party. But she can speak to that.
Maybe they are modes.
So it is
a process akin to the one of Honorable Nalukola's debate and what?
It is a false excuse and accusation, a convenient one. Honorable Mukasambin, as you know, he has stood, I think now, this constituency where he's going to, I think is the third one.
Yeah, but
I think it's the third one.
There is something very glaring. The Chibalamas have since been identified with the NRM, and it's the group that is in court.
No. But if you are an entity, you should build a system that can resist penetration. Whether they bring money, whether they bring other sweeteners, or even intimidation. Honorable Semuju here has been in the same polity with Honorable Nandara Mafabi, with the Power and others. How come Honorable Semuju, by his own confession, he has not been intimidated? At least we have not succeeded in intimidating him into silence. We have not succeeded in providing sweeteners for him to swallow, so that we have not succeeded in sterilizing him.
Did you attempt?
There can always be attempts, but he has withstood. Somebody has withstood. So I think those are excuses of people who are weak in mind by themselves.
It's a cover-up, not even excuse.
Okay, I'll put the same question to Honorable Semuju.
So anybody who's making that excuse is not worth being a leader in that party.
Okay, do you find it excusable?
Just a minute to give Honorable Mbide this verbatim from our constitution, because he was saying that we are using it as an excuse to select and vet. I want to read it to him. It's a very brief thing.
Which article?
Reading from our constitution.
The one you inherited.
The one we inherited, which we reviewed to make better, but we failed because we need to take it back to the delegates conference. So this is what it says, Article 6.44
No, start with the
executive board. Of course, Article 6 is about the executive the entire party organs. But this particularly talks about the executive board. The executive board shall have powers. The executive board shall have powers to select and determine candidates to stand under the party flag for all positions in the country, except the presidential flag bearer, who shall be determined by the NEC, National Executive Committee. The executive board shall be transparent and ensure that decisions on flag bearers within committees are arrived at democratically. The executive board may, for the purposes of this function, appoint an election management committee and other committees at regional or district levels to assist the board in the performance of this function.
You read it like
that clearly tells you, Honorable Mukasambide, that it's not about the party primaries. It's about the powers of the executive board and its delegation to the EMC that selects and identifies, not holds party primaries.
You are talking about something that doesn't exist. So what is the executive board?
The executive board is the cabinet of the political party. It's very stated here that the executive board shall be the cabinet of the party and shall in that role exercise political leadership